The CBI team is allegedly at Sisodia's home. This is something that Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Delhi Chief Minister, is saying. He's saying essentially that the CBI team is at his house. This is the latest information that we're getting, and this is a claim being made by Manish Sisodia, claiming that the CBI team is at his house. Now, we are going to be connecting with a colleague to get you more details on this, but essentially this is the latest that we have on the situation, where he's making a big claim and he's saying that the CBI team is at his residence. Now, essentially, this does follow legal issues that Sisodia has previously been involved in. But whether this is related to that or something new, we are going to get some more details about this from a colleague who will telling us more about whether this claim is valid, whether it's true, or whether this is just a claim that's being made by Manish Sisodia. And you can see the tweet on your screens right now where he made the claim saying that a CBI team is at his residence. So in the tweet, he's essentially saying that the CBI is here. Now, I'm crossing over to my colleague Akash to give us more details on this. Akash, Manish Sisodia is saying that the CBI team is at his residence. Tell us more.
So, Aisha, basically, we have seen that Manish Sisodia has basically tweeted and is claiming that CBI team is at his house, is very much at his house. And, this is not the first time. They were basically anticipating that CBI would be arresting. But at this point in time, he has tweeted and he has said that CBI is at his house and he is welcoming them. And he is, even saying that he'll be cooperating in the whole investigation. And you must be remembering the time when we, last few months, we have seen that how LG has recommended CBI probe into the excise policy, and Manish Sisodia is also the excise minister. And it was very much sad that all the procedural lapses and all the financial quid pro quo happened at a time when Manish Sisodia was very much in charge of that particular department. So at this point in time, this is the big development where Manish Sisodia, who is also the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, is himself claiming that CBI is at his house and CBI officers are very much at his house, and he is, all set to cooperate them in the whole investigation. Aisha.
All right. Now, Akash, essentially, what are we likely to see with this situation now? Do we know for sure that this is related to the excise policy issue?
So, Aisha, we haven't got any sort of clarification or any sort of information from CBI or CBI officials. But at this point in time, this information is coming out from Aam Aadmi Party. So we don't know as to what is the case and, in which case CBI officers are basically investigating and, in concern with which case they have visited the house. But at this point in time, this is the major development where Manish Sisodia is claiming that CBI officers are at his house for a particular investigation, and he has welcomed them. Aisha.
Now, essentially, in his tweet, he's also calling this harassment. He's saying that, this is harassment being done by the center. That's a frequent accusation that has been made against the center, essentially saying that the center is misusing agencies to go against parties that are essentially against them.
Right. And Aisha, you know what? Manish Sisodia is not the only one. We have seen in the past that how, in fact, the Chief Minister of Delhi, other leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, and all others, in fact, in the Congress Party, we have seen that how they people are claiming that central government is basically misusing the central agencies. And you must be remembering the time when Arvind Kejriwal, held a press conference saying that he's expecting that after Satyendra Jain, Manish Sisodia would be arrested as well. And he said that policy and education system in Delhi. So that's the reason why sometimes the central government doesn't want him to work for some more time, and that's why they wanted to arrest him at this time.
All right, we're going to try to reestablish that connection, but now I'm crossing over to our editor, Arunima, to give us more details on this. Arunima, again, big news coming in. Sisodia is claiming that a CBI team is at his residence. Tell us more, please.
Yes, a preliminary inquiry is that the CBI is conducting. We do know that the Lieutenant Governor had recommended that the CBI probe be conducted into the excise policy, and that excise policy of the Delhi government has seen a lot of scrutiny. So in the backdrop of that, CBI took its time, and now finally we are told that the teams are there. The CBI is not yet coming on record to say whether the PE has been converted into an FIR. But the fact that the team is there on ground is what Mr. Sisodia is saying. He's saying that the team is there on ground at his residence, means that CBI prima facie finds reasons to carry out these searches. Prima facie, it finds reasons to believe what LG has recommended, that the excise policy must be looked into by the top investigating agency.
All right, Arnima, can you also give, for our viewers, can you give us details about the row over the excise policy?
See, what had happened was that the Delhi government had changed the excise policy, and the Bharatiya Janata Party has alleged that the changed excise policy was seeped in corruption, that people who were given the license were made to contribute to party funds. There were all kinds of allegations made about corruption as well. And when the new Lieutenant Governor took over, he recommended a CBI probe. The Chief Minister of Delhi himself, Arvind Kejriwal, repeatedly said that all of this was a conspiracy to arrest Manish Sisodia because he was the minister in charge. Allegations were also made that proper procedure protocol was not followed when the amended excise policy was brought in. Now, Manish Sisodia and the Aam Aadmi Party they are brazening it out. They've in fact tweeted out to say that we welcome the CBI team because this will just help us cooperate with the investigation and help clarify that there is nothing wrong with what we have done. So far, they're putting up a brave face. Like I said, it was a preliminary inquiry that the CBI was carrying out, still waiting for them to confirm whether this has been converted into an FIR. But usually, searches like these are carried out, they're called raids after an FIR is registered.
All right, now, Arnima, essentially, do you think we're likely to see an arrest then? Because if the CBI is searching Sisodia's home, and as you mentioned, they only do really conduct searches essentially if they do have some evidence or if they know that they will be finding some evidence. You said that an FIR may also be registered. Do we think that this could possibly lead to an arrest? All right, we're going to try to reestablish that connection, but essentially the big development here that we're seeing in Delhi is in connection with Manish Sisodia. Now, what he's said is that the CBI team is at his residence, and this is supposedly in connection with the Delhi excise policy. Essentially, what our colleagues were talking about earlier is that the Lieutenant Governor had recommended a CBI probe into the Delhi excise policy. Now, remember, a row had taken place between the AAP and the BJP when it came to this, and this is something that we will continue to cover. And right